are back at it. The Beets of Burden burger from the Bob's Burgers Burger Book.
Someone's feeling silly.
It's gonna turn out to probably be a sloppy good time, which may or may not describe my entire college experience. But I'm really excited about this one because it has fresh dill in it, and I love fresh dill. So let's grab our chef's knife, some ingredients, and let's get started. So these are beets, which as far as I know is the first time I have ever used them in a recipe, and I wasn't 100% sure how to prepare them. But there probably aren't any strict rules, at least I would hope.
Oh yeah, the rules. I guess I played it pretty fast and loose.
Rudy is so funny. Anyways, as you can see, I quickly learned that beets are very arrogant and love to transform anything they touch into the same color they are. Probably good news, because the pop of color is going to be great for an interesting looking burger, even though it's kind of annoying at the same time. Oh well, that's the price we pay for pushing the vegetable boundary. Like slicing up this carrot using nothing but my mental prowess and maybe a touch of magic.
Oh wow.
At the end of the day, this is going to be a burger that really leans into the taste of vegetables, which I'm not mad about at all. Speaking of vegetables, I am so hyped to finally have a backyard I can grow my own in when I move into my new house here in a couple weeks. You know, probably not until the spring obviously, but I have already started to make some big plans up in my head about it. But enough about me, back to the recipe. Here comes quite the task.
All right, you got our attention. What's the job?
We're going to use this cheese grater to go to town on the prepared beet. I am just a humble servant to the recipe book, and that is what it wants me to do. I've never grated vegetables before, but it actually was a quick affair, even though it took a second to get the hang of it. Normally, I would probably just use a food processor if I was trying to be as fast as possible, but for you guys, I always want to keep it as close to the book's original instructions. As you can see here, I am breaking down this cabbage so that I can use the same process to get nice shredded strands. Simple enough, but I love to make it look difficult. Going into this, I thought I was the main character, but maybe I'm actually the villain of the story after all.
You are my hero. Now look at you.
Sorry to disappoint, but not all is lost. I can change. The first step is to use technology to speed up time, just like this, and there we go. A nice blend of shredded beets and cabbage we can use for whatever the recipe calls for here in a little bit. We're going to be sauteing all of our veggies in oil together, and I have a feeling it's going to look really cool when, you know, the beets do their thing. Getting ahead of myself, but I also think all this crunchy texture is really going to be the MVP of this burger. I'm starting to see the vision, get a little sweetness added in here by the beets, the oil and the salt from the patty will balance it out, and the rest of the veggies will come in and provide the texture that brings it all together. Well, that process was unusual and a little bit annoying, but it looks like it's ready to go. Got our onions, we got our carrots, we got our beets, cabbage mixture. This is all getting cooked together. But we also need to cut up some fresh dill that we're gonna actually shove into our patty meat. Let's prepare that real fast, and then we'll prepare our patty, and then we'll move over to the stove top and do some amazing cooking where it's all gonna turn out extremely well, and the burger is going to slap cheeks, but in a really good way.
Watch for lunch ladies and feds.
I love dill. It's such an amazing flavor, and it's so unique, iconic even because of its combination with pickles. So the moment I found out that I was going to be infusing it into the patty, I was pretty excited. Pound for pound, it's probably up there with cilantro in terms of transforming a dish. Between salad dressings, fish, and lots of Greek food, dill is goated. I've even heard people using it in their pesto. You get the picture. So let's get a lot of the seasoning all up in this patty, no spots left empty.
Look at all those nooks and crannies.
Yeah, a lot of folds.
Alright, so I'm going to continue on getting this patty sufficiently coated, which will help with the sear when we crank up the heat, as well as give it that flavor we are looking for. I think one of the biggest mistakes people make when cooking any sort of meat is underestimating how much seasoning is actually lost during the cooking process, and this causes you to end up disappointed with how it turned out, even though you've done pretty much everything right. It's these small details that help make the biggest impact. It's way more difficult to oversalt red meat when you're using flaky sauce, as opposed to iodized table salt, which is one of the reasons why it's used more frequently. With that said, I'm happy with how this is looking, even though I wish I got the dill pressed in more.
Oh, you don't like what you see, huh?
Sorry for the disturbing image there, I had no choice but to include it. The next step in the quest for burger destiny is to get some oil heated up on the burner and start sauteing these veggies to soften them up and allow them to absorb the fat. Onions and carrots have hung out a lot over the history of man, so this is nothing new, and it shouldn't take too long. Look how fancy I'm getting here. I could be the next Gusteau.
You naive little wide-eyed dandy fool!
A good way to tell when we should add in our beets cabbage mixture is by keeping an eye on the onions. When they start to look translucent, we can begin to add it in. We shouldn't have to add any additional oil, but you can if need be. Just like we predicted, the coloring from the beets has already began to enforcing its will upon the other vegetables. It's looking pretty good though. With the veggie mixture done cooking, we can probably call it a day, right?
That's not good enough.
Oh, you're right. Good call. Let's finish this recipe out by cooking up the patty now. The recipe calls for us to cook it in the same pan we cooked our veggies, probably in the hope that the patty will absorb some of that additional flavor. The unfortunate part about this is I was too lazy apparently to make sure to scrape all the veggies out of the pan, so we have a real burning dilemma on our hands. Maybe I'll get lucky. Nope, the veggies are scorched earth. But hey, that patty be looking super nice. Juicy, my goodness. Only thing left to do is to toast up our buns per usual and hopefully avoid most of the charring. Good enough, let's build this burger. Starting with the bottom bun and juicy patty. Then a good helping of the beets mixture. It's so vibrant. A dollop of our sour cream for balance. And then complete with the top bun. I am really happy with how this one turned out. Alright, the burger is done. I love the color of the red from the beets. It really just made everything red. I respect it though. I mean, it knows what it is and it goes for it. But like I said, the burger is done. So let's do what we do best and take a big old bite and I'll tell you how it tastes.
Oh my god, you are so bad at pretending you like it.
Listen guys, I think what we just have to accept is that it's really hard to mess a burger up. It's kind of like pizza in that way. Burgers are just good. No matter what I throw on it, no matter what I do, it's like it's so difficult to make it taste bad. I mean, there's only been a couple burgers this entire time where, you know, I wouldn't probably make again. This burger is not one of those. I mean, regardless of how you feel about beets, it's a good, solid burger. Not a lot going on, but there's so much flavor. The dill comes through so well. And just like the sweetness from the beets mixed with all like the oils and just like that sharpness from the onion. It's just good. It's good. I'm not being biased, I swear. So what would I rate it? A 7.5 out of 10. Basic, but unique enough that I think you guys should attempt it if you get the chance. Another burger of the day completed. If you have any suggestions for the series, or you want me to cook something particular, let me know in the comments. I'm always open to suggestions. One of the things I look most forward to as a YouTube creator is the community that I'm building. Every comment you guys send me, I always read them, every single one, and I really appreciate you guys coming back for another episode. So with that said, I'll catch you next time. Peace. Thanks for feasting with me today, and please subscribe if you liked what you saw.